Bringing in the harvest, a beautiful and timeless scene played out across Asia and much of the developing world. Domesticated cattle and buffalo have been used for thousands of years in agriculture, transport, and as an important food source. They're essential to the economic fortunes of almost every country on Earth, so their importance cannot be overstated. Across Southeast Asia and China, there's been a surge in the consumption of meat and meat products, including milk. That's led to a dramatic increase in livestock rearing and trading. But a tiny virus is threatening this relationship with cattle, buffaloes, and small ruminants. And for the past 20 years, the World Organization for Animal Health, the OIE, has been fighting a global battle. The target, foot and mouth disease.
When there is an outbreak of foot and mouth disease, it really impacts my family. It's a really problem if the outbreak lasts for a long period of time, because each injection costs up to $1.50. So over time, it might cost up to $25 per animal. I don't have this kind of money, so I have to borrow money, and that means my family goes into debt.
When an outbreak of FMD occurs, it is a big problem for us, not only for our milk production business, but also for farming, because we depend a great deal on our draft animals for plowing and transportation.
The OIE and governments in the region have long recognized the devastating impact FMD can have on livelihoods and export potential.
The value of export in livestock sectors is about $3 billion last 2 years. If Thailand had eradicated FMD, we can increase the value of export of livestock product to maybe $4 billion.
The OIE Subcommission for FMD in Southeast Asia started work in 1994 to prevent and control FMD across the region.
In our globalized world, we have unprecedented movement of people, of commodities in the world, and it is very easy for the virus to take that movement as a channel for spread. So now any country can be attacked at any moment, and one infected country is a threat for all the planet. It is why without global, regional and global policies and strategies, it will be impossible to control efficiently that disease.
In 1997, 7 countries where FMD was endemic linked up with the OIE and formally launched the Southeast Asia Foot and Mouth Disease Campaign. By 2001, they were joined by Indonesia, and in 2010 by Singapore and Brunei, all countries free of FMD. In the same year, China, still grappling with the disease, joined the campaign, which was then renamed SEACFMD.
Since joining SEACFMD, China has benefited a lot. We improved our national control plan for FMD according to SEACFMD roadmap. At the same time, under SEACFMD umbrella, China has provided trainings veterinary professionals from many concerned countries and offered disease prevention and control resources to several countries.
Strong cooperation between SEACFMD members is important in controlling and preventing FMD in the region.
The commitment of individual countries, because they're separate sovereign nations, is to actually manage the program and fund programs within their own boundaries in accordance with their own particular agriculture and economic systems. They must invest. Some richer countries invest a lot of money, some poorer countries require a lot of assistance.
Vietnam is one of the major markets for livestock in the region. It's invested heavily in vaccination and other measures to control FMD.
It's essential to have good quality vaccines available to farmers across Vietnam. And that's why government of Vietnam has invested many millions of dollars in facility and resources to help fight against FMD.
But because of limited resources, endemic countries in the region still exist. These are the places where OIE assistance and expertise has been critical. The OIE office in Bangkok has been coordinating control efforts through the SEACFMD program.
We are doing this pilot vaccination here in Laos, where you can observe the vaccination going on, and we are doing the same thing also in Myanmar. This upper Mekong is part of what we call the critical point in the movement of cattle, which is a risk in the spread of FMD. If we can control FMD along the critical point, we can prevent the spread of FMD to other parts in the Southeast Asia.
An effective FMD control strategy should be supported by a sound surveillance system, a backbone for early detection and response. The OIE-accredited FMD reference laboratory at Pak Chong in Thailand has enhanced diagnostic, surveillance and response capabilities across the region. Over the past 20 years, SEACFMD has been hailed throughout the world as a model for regional and sub-regional coordination of animal health programs.
The Southeast Asian and China Foot-and-Mouth Disease Campaign is one of the biggest and most complex animal health programs in the world. Complex programs such as these take many years to deliver results. Europe, foot-and-mouth disease eradicated 25 years. Philippines, 10 years. So donor organizations and countries must recognize that this is a long-time effort.
Australia's Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade has been a major donor in the fight against FMD.
Foot-and-mouth disease is Australia's most costly biosecurity risk. In a globalised world, our country will always face the epidemic, the threat of FMD incursion, as long as the disease is endemic in our nearest neighbours. And so that's why Australia, for almost 20 years, has supported Southeast Asia's efforts to collectively control and eventually, hopefully, stamp out FMD.
Following Australia's lead, China, Japan, New Zealand and the Republic of Korea have recently provided additional funding for the campaign. To demonstrate their commitment, less developed countries are also sharing the costs, despite limited resources.
For the government 2015, we regard the FMD control as part of the major diseases that the government also put enormous budget for this 2015 into our disease control program.
The dream of a region free from foot-and-mouth disease can become a reality. The Philippines, Indonesia and Sabah and Sarawak in Malaysia have all made significant gains in the fight against FMD, while Singapore and Brunei have successfully maintained their FMD-free status. But it will take even stronger cooperation and commitment from member countries and continued support from donors and technical partners. But the prize is well worth it. Increased trade and export earnings for member countries and sources of income and improved livelihoods for millions of people across the region.
We are very proud that SEACFMD, after 20 years, is still considered as a key tool for FMD control in Asia. We hope that we will be trusted by our national partner and donors to continue until the final goal.